Well, welcome back to Memories of Margaret, where the life and legacy of Margaret Curle will be shared through photos and stories of her love for Christ and all people. I'm your host, Martha Sue French, and if you don't know by now, I'm also the youngest of six biological children of Howard and Margaret Curle. We also have a bonus brother. So today's poem is entitled Keep Smiling, and it is featured in the poetry book From My Heart to Yours. Now, Mama was one of the most positive people that I know. No matter the circumstance, she was always a glass half full type of person. And as I've mentioned before, we grew up poor, and many of Mama's poems actually reflected the struggle, but just as many actually reflected her faith. She was diagnosed with cancer, and I believe it was in 1994. And in spite of that diagnosis, she never wavered in her faith in God. I'm sure in her private moments, she did shed some tears, but she was a source of inspiration for all who knew her, despite what she was going through. And many times people didn't even know what she was going through because she kept it so well under wraps, behind that smile. So here's the poem, Keep Smiling by Margaret Naomi Curle. Keep smiling. No matter what befalls us, how long and hard the road, in spite of all discouragements caused by a heavy load, remember God still loves you and is with you every day. So always keep smiling as you go along your way. Sometimes when one is all alone, no matter how strong one's will, when one has said, I will not cry, over the tears will spill. But when one has to face the world, those tears must then be dried, so that others can see the smile behind which tears do hide. Sometimes it seems so very hard, but each time that we do, makes it easier to smile next time. I've tried and know it's true. So though your burdens be heavy and dreary each long mile, if someone must weep alone, show to the world a smile. Again, that's Keep Smiling by Margaret Naomi Whitman or Curle. Now, Mama's cancer returned 4 times, but again, her faith never wavered. Now, she had another poem entitled What I Know from She Still Speaks. It's a very quick and short poem, but I want to read it to prove the point of her unwavering faith and her positive attitude. So here is what I know. The big sea hit me once more. This makes time number 4. But why should I moan? Why should I groan? I know I am not alone. God is with me every hour. He's the one who has all power. He's the one who gives me peace. His love for me will never cease. On him I can always depend. He's my constant, all-wise friend and will be with me until the end. Only he knows when that will be. I just know he'll be with me. And that is all I need to know. As down life's road, I onward go. That's What I Know by Margaret Naomi Curle. Now, the lesson that I learned, not only from What I Know, not only from Keep Smiling, but from Mama in general, is to keep smiling, keep your faith in God. Now, a quick funny story. So again, Mama's cancer returned 4 times. So I was living out of state. Of course, I had left in 1984 and never moved back to Kentucky. But I went home to visit Mama after one of her treatments. And Daddy was still living, at the time. And Daddy was always a worry wart. You couldn't, I almost couldn't take Mama anywhere. Mama would get up, or move, go somewhere. Dad, Mama, where are you going, Mama? Mama just needed to get out of the house sometimes. So I went home to visit. Mama. I think I must have flown home and gotten like a rental car. But Mama and I would take little secret trips because, again, she just needed to get out of the house. So one of the secret trips that Mama and I, one of the secrets that we kept, of course, I'm spilling it now, but one of the secrets Mama and I kept and laughed about for many years was she and I took a road trip to Katie's, Kentucky. So I will share more about that story at another time because I do have a picture I have to find that goes into that. I took a picture of her when we were in the car on the way to Katie's. But on this particular trip, something we would just go riding around Hodgenville and E-Town. And again, Mama just needed to get out of the house. And we had some wonderful alone time. Now, on this particular day, we went to the Green Bamboo, it's a Chinese restaurant in E-Town. I think it's still there. I'm not 100% sure, but she loved the Green Bamboo. So she was still a little weak, but we were having such a good, a fabulous day together that was going to be our crescendo. We were going to end on having us a good lunch at the Green Bamboo. So I excused myself. I went to the bathroom, and when I returned, Mama wasn't in the booth. So my mind starts going probably like Daddy, a worry wart. I'm like, oh my God, Mama, she done slid down in the booth. She's, on the ground. She, something. I thought something had happened to Mama. And I go back and she's not laying in the booth. She's not on the floor anywhere. So I look around the restaurant. Mama had noticed somebody that she knew, and Mama had gotten up and gone over to the booth and was talking to these people. Now here I am, worried to death that Mama had then fallen out because she was weak. Again, she had had one of her treatments. But Mama, again, she never met a stranger, even for somebody she didn't know, but she did know him. Never met a stranger. But Mama had seen somebody that she knew in the restaurant, and she went over and she was carrying on a conversation with them. So then when I went over to her, thank goodness, Mama, our food's getting ready to come out. But I told her what I had thought, and we just laughed about that. Again, just keep smiling. Mama had such a warmth about her that I can't imagine that anyone that she came in contact with would, if they were having a bad day, she would be able to turn it around just with her smile. So I have 5 pictures to share today that depict Mama's mantra of keep smiling. Again, she was such a positive influence on all who came in contact with her. So just let me share those pictures and then we will be done for the day. This first picture of a younger Margaret, I just loved this picture. I love her hair. I love her. It looks like her earrings and her brooch match. Such a elegant, beautiful person. Then she has on a pin. But again, there she is, young Margaret, smiling. I don't know how old Mama would have been in this picture, but just beautiful. Keep smiling. This is one of my favorites. It's a picture of her and grandson, Jamie Curle. It says here it was 1999. Now, in 2001, so 2 years later, both of them would pass away. But you see how she just loves loves her grandson, and he loves her. I just miss both of them. But again, keep smiling. This next picture Now, this is at Jimmy and Kay's house in Hodgenville. You'll notice that plant in the back. I know exactly what this is from. Here's Jeremy Curle. Here's Mama. And here is our cousin Lorraine McDougall. But with what she is wearing and with these plants in the back, this is after Daddy's funeral. So again, knowing that her heart was broken because, Mama and Daddy were married for 50 years. But here she is again, talking and smiling. Just a testament to who she was, who she still is, actually. Again, still smiling. This is a month after Daddy passed away. And this, again, is in Hodgenville, Kentucky. This is me, Mama, and Debbie Dorsey Jones, my best friend Debbie. I had come home for a visit. Again, I tried to visit more often after Daddy passed, just to spend more time with Mama. And there she is again, smiling. She's smiling or is she wincing? But anyway, just miss her. And this has to be my all-time favorite picture of me and Mama. Again, this is the Jimmy and Kay's house. And Mama and Daddy both, Jimmy and Kay were caregivers for Mama and Daddy as they got older. So there she is. She's not smiling in this picture, so I'm not sure why she's not smiling, but love her nevertheless. I'm not sure when this picture was taken, but again, it's one of my favorite pictures of me and Mama. And again, just to keep smiling. So I'll stop sharing those pictures. But as I mentioned, this August, it's going to mark 23 years since she passed. And her influence is still around. And, regardless of what people tell you, it doesn't get easier. It just doesn't. You just learn how to live with it, because I miss Mama every single day. And that's one of the reasons I started this podcast, is to honor her memory and her legacy. So that's all for today. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of Memories of Margaret. Now remember, all 3 of her published poetry books, From My Heart to Yours, She Still Speaks, On Speaking Terms with God, can be found and purchased through Amazon.com. Now, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Spotify. Now, the next episode will feature another poem along with another special guest to share their memories of Margaret. Hint, hint, it's going to be one of the 6 children. So tune in. So remember, if you would like to be a guest on a future episode, please leave a message on the Facebook page, Memories of Margaret, or send an email to memoriesofmargaretnaomi@gmail.com. Until next time, make memories with your family. Thank you.